it was 5 days in a much different part of the world. What was that like?
It was interesting. I love traveling. I love seeing new places, and I'd never been to Abu Dhabi before, so it was fun to obviously take time to play basketball there, meet fans there, but then take time as well to appreciate where we were for those sports.
I mean, we've talked a lot about how many of you have been together, whether it's just from last year's team or the last 4 years. How different was this as a team bonding, team chemistry? You know what I mean? Because you all know each other so well. You've all had dinners together, that kind of thing.
I mean, I think it's great because obviously, like you said, we know each other so well. We've been together. I don't think you really need any of that. Not that there's anything wrong with it. You obviously do this because it works, but the team bonding where you kind of have to go out of your way to create the team bonding and do activities and stuff like that. I think it was just a great natural situation where we enjoyed our company. We're comfortable with one another, and we had again a good time enjoying a new place.
Just in that regard, having got everybody back from last year's roster to this year's, how helpful is that, and just how much of do you appreciate that sign of confidence?
Yeah, it's so huge because you can spend so long just building that block that your team is going to have to grow on to begin with, even with a few new guys. I've been on teams where, it's taken till the new year or never takes. but it can absolutely take time to get that continuity and get that feel for one another. So we're very privileged and lucky to have this whole group coming back and all kind of be on the same page.
Does it go the opposite way at all? Like, hey, we brought all of you back because the expectations you're going to win a championship, so get it done. Like, do you get what I'm saying at all? That there's already this faith and this belief in you.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem with our team. We have a lot of guys who, we're confident. I don't think we're overconfident or anything like that. We're cocky enough. We know what we're capable of. We know what our job is, and we know we got to go out there and do it. But we've put the work in. We've been putting the work in. So, we're definitely sure of ourselves.
The other day, Bud said he didn't want to get this wrong because it was your body. So he didn't want to tell us exactly how many pounds you've lost and what your weight is. Would you mind sharing that?
Yeah, I'm probably just over 280 right now. So, and a lot of that's honestly just skin fold, body mass index, stuff like that. I've had Susie's been doing a great job with our nutrition, our supplements, everything like that. I've been with Wiz and Suki and in the weight room and with my guy Drusan and PT. It's just everyone working together to help me out and help everyone out there doing their jobs. They're the best at what they do. And obviously, fortunately, being healthy and be able to work this summer and prepare so that we're not just coming in from resting from 2 long playoff runs like the past couple seasons.
When you were struggling with back stuff, did that equate to putting on weight? Like, did that end up happening because you couldn't do the things that you might normally do?
I honestly I don't know if that's necessarily correlation. I'm sure maybe that was part of it. I'm not too certain what it was. I'd gone, I think it was about 15 years, since my previous back surgery, my freshman year at Stanford. So. It also could be just, the back doing what the back does. And I'll take 15 years between surgeries if I can get it. I mean, hey, if I'm here in another 15 years and you guys got me for season 30 or whatever it is, maybe we'll talk about it again. But we're feeling great right now.
Bud talked a little bit about the emphasis in Charles too, that this camp on contesting threes a little more than in the past. Yeah. How does that affect you? In terms of, or maybe what they're asking of you or Giannis or Serge inside?
I don't know if it really alters what we do as bigs as much. I think that's a trust in us, but, we know we're very capable at our jobs. Again, we know what our task is. We know we're out there to protect the rim defensively, and, we're definitely able to do that. And a lot of our lineups, obviously, we have a luxury. I mean, with the Wishbone lineup we've been starting this season, where we have, Giannis behind me or Serge behind me or Bobby behind me or something like that, even then. But, and that all goes, without even mentioning our guards coming off the screens or, guarding the ball. I don't know if you guys have heard, but, Bud likes this term, so you probably have heard, but, our MIG, our most important guys on ball this year. That's where it all starts. And, we have the best group, in the league on ball starting as our first string of defense.
I know in the past I've talked to like Grayson or George about the idea that if they help early, that means the ball gets picked up earlier, and that makes it a little bit easier on you. Do you feel like without that extra help or reach in, that they're getting a freer run at you?
Yeah, and that's something I have been playing with. I think we're going to find a good balance for the guards in that situation to be there and get back to their man. But that's something I've been playing with myself as well, just kind of messing with that, and kind of doing that from where I can in my way and seeing how I can be that guy in effect that way, guarding the pick and roll in center, whether I'm back or I start up, however.
Can I go back to, I have a two-part question on the weight thing. Am I gathering this correctly? Your body, your lean mass, nothing changed from when you were rehabbing to now? Because usually I would think if you can't move as much and work out as much as play as much because you're healing your back, you would change. Even if your weight doesn't change,
I'm sure it did. I didn't pay attention as much to that stuff. I'm sorry, Susie. But Susie did have meal prep for me and stuff like that as we were going through the recovery period. She did take care of that stuff. And so there absolutely was a positive change there.
And the second thing is I really appreciate the way Eric asked, is it okay if we ask you about this? This is something that we've always talked about, male athletes, basketball players, football. We over-obsess about this with you. How do you feel about that? Once I asked Giannis the same thing because I thought he bulked up like center, and people freaked out. How dare you ask him his weight, and I'm a female marathon.
Yeah, I mean,
Started to learn.
Yeah,
You guys don't appreciate
and it wasn't something, I was, I guess we all kind of evolved, in the last few years or whatever, as we're, kind of all getting more used to this stuff and learning more about this stuff, because it's not something I ever really consciously thought about. You just kind of assume like, hey, they post your weight, they're asking about your weight, they get to know your weight, that's what it is. But it definitely has been a learning process for me myself, and I am appreciative of the way Eric asked. It's almost like I didn't even realize at first, till people have become more, I guess, thoughtful of it, and then you become more appreciative of it. For sure, because it definitely can be difficult, and there's been times where it has been different for me. It's been up and down, and it's definitely. I mean, we all know it's something, right? We all know what that's like.
What's the difference you've noticed on the floor? What had been your previous typical play?
Yeah, I think it's just been. I've just felt like I've been able to move better. I mean, honestly, it makes sense. It's the logical sense, but my footwork feels better, just guarding the ball one-on-one, whether it's in the post. I still feel effective guarding in the post or on the perimeter, and I'm guarding smaller players. I do feel more, let's see, what word do I want to use? More dynamic. There we go. I hope that was worth the pause. And then probably around 285, around there, yeah.